Stop auditioning for your life. Where in your life do you feel unspoken pressure to prove your worth? Think about this, reflect on it. And if you feel called to, type it in the chat because number one, you're getting it out of your head and it does no good bouncing around up there. Number two, it normalizes the conversation and maybe gives permission for someone else to share theirs. What if you're thinking about how you should have sent that happy birthday message earlier? Are you beating yourself up over that? Or replaying a colleague's snide remark, wondering what you could have done better or differently? Is there a soft whisper in your head saying, I'll prove them wrong? I'll be real. I started my business with prove them wrong energy. I had a horrific boss from the job I was leaving. And oh man, I wanted to just prove her wrong. Watch how I soar. And I did. I soared. And over time, I stopped caring about her. She doesn't matter. She never did. But what's interesting is that throughout the years, she was replaced with somebody else that I needed to keep proving wrong. Are you trying to prove yourself? Can you think about who you're trying to prove yourself to? So, signs and symptoms, how this shows up, anxiety around certain people, topics, or circumstances, your mind racing to try and find solutions, the persistent need to overgive. You feel responsible for things going perfectly. You experience guilt when another person contributes more than you do, whether it's time or money. It really is you proving it to yourself. But that prove them wrong energy, it can be really top of mind after a conflict. But when things settle down, you forget about it. You may not recognize the pattern that keeps showing up. I have a client who came to the realization during a session that she's been trying to prove her ex-husband wrong years after they split, years after she remarried. But still, somewhere in there, that was the energy that was not just motivating her or what she thought was motivating her, but keeping her stuck and beating herself up. It's not your fault. We are conditioned to do this. It comes from all aspects. There's generational trauma, systemic oppression, family, society. This happens all the time, and it's exhausting. And it's not just in business. It shows up in all areas of your life. As many of you know, I'm a bonus mom to a 17-year-old. And for the first 10 years of my relationship with my husband, I had prove yourself energy with this little girl. I needed to be perfect. I needed to show what a great influence I was. And if I could do that, then maybe, just maybe, I'd be worthy of love, be worthy of having this marriage, of having this life, of getting approval from anyone and everyone I ever met. Kind of exhausting, but real. Of course, I didn't admit it for a long time, but that's what was going on. And then, if you can imagine, every time I cooked something she didn't like or bought her something she didn't like, which was quite often, it was immensely painful. It started to feed a negative narrative. Where are you seeing this negative narrative come up for you? Along with all of the systems and society, this is what's happening in your brain. You get positive reinforcement, and dopamine is released in the area of rewards systems in your brain. So you're like, oh, I did good. Awesome, reward. Positive reinforcement's a reward. I get that good feeling now. So then naturally you start seeking it. And you don't always get it, right? Because we're depending on others to give us what we need. So then you have disappointment, and around and around and around you go. 55% of people have said that their self-worth relies on the opinions of others. This is the norm. This is how we've been built. And it's clearly what's happening within us. So we look outside to feel better about what's going on inside, constantly saying, make me feel better. And then we end up in these negative patterns of thinking, like personalizing, catastrophizing, and black and white thinking. So personalizing is making it about you when it's not about you. I cooked this kid a dinner she didn't like. I clearly shouldn't be around children. I'm a bad cook. Catastrophizing, worst case scenario. My boss didn't give me any feedback after my presentation other than good job. I'm getting fired. Black and white thinking is either or, not allowing space for the rainbow of possibilities in between. My friend bought me lunch. So next time I need to buy her lunch. And if I don't, I'm a bad friend. These things don't make sense and they are common. Just because our brains are doing their thing and society's done its thing and trauma's done its thing doesn't mean we don't have the opportunity to change it. What we're going to do is we're going to look at owning your main character energy. And surprise, surprise, we're going to start with mindfulness, as we always do. And I am so real about this because guess what? Mindfulness helps to regulate the dopamine system in your head, in your brain, so that you become less dependent on others to receive that. It helps to create a more automated, consistent system for you. It is self-soothing to the ultimate degree. So what I want you to do today is really write down what's an achievable goal for you to do a daily practice of mindfulness. And don't go pie in the sky, I'm going to do 30 minutes and then find ways to give yourself excuses for it not happening. If it's 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes. What time of day is good for you? Is it morning when you wake up? Is it right before you go to bed? Is there somewhere midday that feels good? What if every time something irritated you, you took 3 deep breaths? So simple. And it helps you in the moment and it helps you long term. So really think about what that could be for you. And if you need more examples, you know I've got you. Now you want to give yourself the approval. But how do you know if you've proved yourself? Look to the 5 love languages for some examples. Because we don't want you chasing a carrot. We don't want it to be something that's ethereal and you never know. And like I said, sometimes when you hit success, you keep saying that's not good enough and you have to keep going. Let's get some ideas of what it means. So when I say look at the love languages, there's verbal recognition. What do you want to hear? And maybe identify who you want to hear it from so that you have your clarity. Is physical affection a part of this? Quality time. Who's spending time with you and how much? Acts of service. Are you getting support? And gifts. Yeah, money can be a gift. What does that look like? What do you need? Get an understanding of what that is. And then you're going to look for the evidence. Now, I want you to find 1 to 3 things that support you owning your worth, because this is what it comes down to, right? Is worthiness. Proving yourself is all about worthiness. If you approve of yourself already, you're golden. That is not a one and done thing. This is a constant daily practice. So find 1 to 3 things. And I say 1 to 3 because there's going to be days when you're like, I can't. And one thing, you just need that one thing. Now, I mentioned that I experienced this prove them wrong energy in my business. And I recognized this pattern happening a couple of months ago. Naturally shocked me. And so one of the things I did is I started to look for my evidence. I went through this process, look for my evidence. And I celebrated my 6-year anniversary for Inspired Journey Consulting last month. And as I was doing this evidence search, it became a celebration. And so here's what I came up with. Now, you don't have to go this far, but what's so cool, I want you to know, is that it is so much more than you could imagine. Waiting, the evidence is there for you. If you said, I want someone to give me a compliment, you've probably received 15 of them, at least, but you're not noticing. You're not noticing because the negativity bias in your brain is lighting up when it hears those things. And it's categorizing into information in your brain to keep you living within these stories of evidence that aren't true. It is legit your brain working against you. And it's not the brain's fault. It's very busy. It has a lot to do. So just help it out. Give it some good stuff to look at. And then I want you to think about soothing little you. So this stuff starts early on. I have a bit of an extreme example. My parents raised us with conditional love. We were consistently threatened to be disowned. And we lived in a prove your worth environment. So that was the norm. But think about how it happens for all of us. Get approval from your parents, get approval from teachers, from classmates, college applications, job applications, interviews, dating. I mean, it just keeps going. So we're breaking free from that. So if you can imagine, little you is freaking out. She just wants to know that she's enough, that she's awesome, that you approve of her. So try some of these things, journal it out, get it out of your head. Add some play into your life. What does that look like? Is it a dance party? Is it coloring? Whatever play looks like for you. And mirror exercises are extremely powerful because they hit you in different levels, utilizing different senses. Now, my tip here, my recommendation is to state my conscious and subconscious mind are open to receive and believe all positive affirmations. So you're giving your brain instructions. Let's do this, guys. And then one of my favorites that you can take is I know without a shadow of a doubt that I am enough. So we want you to remove the proof. Okay. We'll do a free performance review. And during that time, we are going to pinpoint where you're exhausted while you're succeeding, when you go into audition mode, and to curate a way to get your power back in these moments. I'm going to put this in the chat so that you can take a look and get some time on my calendar now. And what I want you to do is I want you to remove the guilt. Okay. I hear this from women all the time. I feel guilty for taking your time. Don't feel guilty for taking my time. I know that's like a big thing to say, but don't. I offer free things here because I want to, because I know that you're worthy of them. And I want you to think about the objections that come up within you. Oh, I don't want to be sold to. I'm not sure I need this, blah, blah, blah. All of those things, let's just throw them out the window because here's the deal. I'm going to follow my intuition. And if it feels aligned, then I'll say, hey, here's how we work together. And I care about you, but I don't care if you say no, thank you. I just know what it's like to not have something offered when you need help.